This thing I don't think has ever been cleaned. Bird feathers, some dog hair, some cat hair. So that's all gonna have to be replaced. That's a nice bird's nest in it. Doors rotted out, drywall seam is cracking. Holes in the tub. This bathroom's getting completely gutted as well because there's water damage. All right, so that's gonna drain for a while. I'm gonna take this off here. I got a new NPT to PEX fitting. Get that on. I need a pipe wrench. I use tape and thread sealant. All right, guys, I'm putting a new frost bib on the outside of the house, but I'm gonna paint all the floors and I have no water because all of the valves, shut-off valves in the house are bad, and I've had to cut off pipes, copper pipes below, so there's no way I can turn the water on without doing some kind of temporary service, which is I'm doing now. So I took off the copper from the meter, put a PEX, a 3/4 NPT to 3/4 PEX on there. Got a 25-foot section of PEX. Put my frost bib on here, and now I can have water in the house, so I can clean my spray painter. I can just open this window, hook the hose up to it, until I can put this new frost bib in and redo all the water lines. All I'll have to do is score this, take this off, and then I can rehook this up once I put it in the house. I just can't reach with this blue pipe to where I want to put this. So this will work fine. So I'm gonna turn the water on, make sure I don't have any leaks there, and then I can get to spraying the floor. Here we go. All right, guys, it is day 8 here at the house renovation, and I have got all of the floors cleaned. I've got some water hooked up in the basement, so I'm able to clean my sprayer, and we are going to spray and treat all of the floors in the house. So the people that lived here, this house was built in 2002, 2003. They had 4 big dogs. It was easy for me to know just coming in here that the dogs had urinated in the carpet. There was plenty of bacteria, plenty of mold growth in the house, and I want to treat all the floors. Now, since I've removed all of the carpet, since I've removed all of the rotten subfloor and the black mold, it does smell a little bit better, but I do want to freshen this up and treat everything. And you want to use something that is odor blocking. The product I'm using today is Kills Restoration. So it's a maximum stain and odor blocker. I'm not really too worried about the stain, but it's good for use on wood, drywall, plaster, brick, concrete, fiber cement, basically anything. You can paint it within 1 hour. And so with animal urine, they have ammonia. And so this will encapsulate that and block all the smell. I don't smell any ammonia anymore, but I definitely still want to seal this all up. So I have vacuumed and cleaned this really, really well. And now we're gonna spray it. I know it's not perfect, but we're gonna go ahead and get that done today. This here is a Graco XR7 sprayer. And I bought this in 2004, I believe it was. So it is 21 years old. I bought it for my first house renovation. And I can remember, I think I paid like $550 for it at the time, because I got a painting quote that was $10,000 to $12,000. And I'm like, it wasn't really a choice. I didn't have any money to pay anybody to do it. So I bought myself a commercial grade sprayer, and I cannot tell you how many thousands of dollars. It's probably at least $100,000 that I've saved myself in paying people to paint my houses that I've remodeled and built with this unit right here. So I guess since we're talking about the sprayer, kind of like when you're remodeling a house, one, you're learning valuable skills that will help you increase the value of your house if you're doing it yourself. Back when I started, there was no YouTube. The internet was not full of information on how to do stuff. So I worked for different types of contractors. I worked for an electrician, worked for an HVAC, mechanical engineer. I did plumbing, pipe fitting, that kind of stuff. And then I also bought books. One of the first books I bought was Home Improvement 1, 2, 3. I bought it from none other than the Home Depot. And I learned a ton from that book that enabled me to remodel my first house. So this is a great way to not only save yourself tons of money, but learn extra skills and build equity in your house, so when you turn around and sell it, you can make some money to put towards your next house as you work towards your dream house. Let's test it out right here. See how it does. start back there and work my way out here. This is what happens when you are the cameraman, the editor, the hired work. Went to shut the camera off after spraying all this, and it was never on. So somehow when I moved the camera, I must have hit it and turned it off. But down to a couple gallons of paint, and this 5-gallon bucket's too big to suck this out, so I'm gonna have to pour it into the gallon buckets to try to get it to suck in. So I think I'm gonna move to the upstairs, let this dry over here, so then I can move the stove and the refrigerator over there, and then I'll finish spraying this last. I shut the AC off, opened all the doors and windows so that this can get air to dry. I think it'll probably dry pretty fast. I think I got pretty good coverage. It's not as thick as probably I want, but I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll see how it kind of smells and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there. All right, we are recording. carpet's old. All right, we got it all covered. Looks pretty good. Still some tacky spots. But oh my gosh, it already smells so much better. Took me about an hour and a half to clean the floors, hour and a half to paint all this. Probably gonna take me about an hour to clean my painter up and put everything away. And then, tomorrow I will work on replacing all of the water lines. And I got a couple outlets that we wanna add in a couple different spots. We'll get that done, and then we're gonna be ready for drywall. The only problem with drywall is the quotes I've gotten have been astronomically high. And I had another guy come yesterday, seemed like nice guys, but they're a month out. So we'll see what their bid is and when the earliest they can get here. I cannot wait a month, but the thought of doing this drywall is not exciting to me because I hate drywall. But if I have to do it, I'll do it. All right, I'm waiting for the paint to dry. And we had this nice apple tree in the backyard, which it went down in the storm last week. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut that up and put it in the dumpster. Kind of a shame. It was a nice apple tree. Already got my tub up here. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this thing installed. And then I get in here and I'm like, all right, well, gotta put an outlet here. Emily wants an outlet here. I gotta put an outlet down there. There's some studs really close together back there that need to be filled with foam. Need to fix some of this insulation because there's not some in some spots, and it just snowballs. And starts to feel a little bit overwhelming. All I can do is take it one step at a time and get this done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go get my stapler, fix up this insulation. I got Great Stuff can spray foam. I'm gonna fill those cracks. I bought some insulation with craft face so that I can put that up because it needs a vapor barrier. They did have 6 mil plastic up here. And then I can set my tub, and then I'll deal with this out here. I just have to break it down into smaller pieces or I'm gonna get a little frustrated. And whoever framed this wall about 2.5 inches because there's all these furring strips, but there needs to be furring strips down at the bottom and the top and where the shower is gonna be, tub shower is gonna be also, so need to get that done as well. All right, so I was in a hurry, and you know what happens when you're in a hurry. Had Remington, he had to go to practice, football practice. I'm like, dude, let's get these tubs up where we need to get them quick. So we hauled them in. This is a left-hand drain tub, and I need a right-hand drain tub up here. So that means the left-hand drain tub needs to go down and the right one needs to come up. And now I'm here by myself. All right guys, day 9, and today we're gonna be installing the tubs. I'm going to be beefing them up with some Great Stuff wide spray. This stuff is awesome. And I'm not doing it necessarily for the insulating purposes, even though that will be awesome if you are getting a bath. We don't typically bathe. But I'm doing it because they're fiberglass bases, and by putting this wide spray on there, it just makes it more rigid. I've used their products to stiffen up fiberglass surrounds before, and it works amazing. And now that they have wide spray, I'm going to utilize it on these tubs because they're just a little bit more flimsy, and I don't want to spend an absolute ton of money on a high-end tub. I got to be able to get my money back out of all this, so this is a great way to beef it up. So we're going to start with that. Then we're just going to do odds and ends today, just getting stuff put back together. So All right guys, so I'm prepping these tubs using great stuff on them. Wide spray. Mainly to beef them up, not really so much for the insulating purposes, even though that will work, but to make them more rigid. These are fiberglass tubs, so once you put that on there, it really stiffens that up. I got my first layers around the 2 tubs. You could easily do an entire tub with 1 can. So I'm on my 2nd can. I've done 3 sides of 2 tubs and I barely just started the 2nd can. So once this all dries, then I will work on getting this side of the tub. This side is a little bit more rigid just because it comes out and down, so it's a little bit more solid, but I will insulate this. I'm gonna stand it up on end once all this is dry. So probably, I don't know, wait a little bit longer and then we'll get this done. I can remove that piece and then I can get in here. But I'm prepping the opening. This already had framing. I had to add some stuff out here. This is a little different because whoever framed this wall in here didn't put it in the right place, so I've had to put a bunch of furring strips in here. So I've left this one out until I know where this faucet's gonna go, because I'm gonna have to leave an opening for the line to get through there. This is coming out, it's already loose. Just gotta go down and cut it down below. I added this, that's where the edge of the tub will be. And then I had to add this over here because that's where the edge of the tub will be there. Got all the new insulation put in here, tidied up. This is not going to be in the right place, so I'm going to have to cut that off and get another trap. I'll just cut it back there, redo this to the tub, and then reconnect it to the drain. So that's going to have to get moved. I went with, this had a 30-inch tub in it, and I put a 32 in, and I still had my clearance that I needed for 15 inches from the center of the drain. All right, I killed this circuit up here. I killed the dedicated circuit for the outlets in the bathroom, and then I killed the lights. And this is gonna be a double vanity here, and we wanted a second outlet. And IRC says bathroom outlets will be on a dedicated GFCI circuit. However, this is an outside wall, and that corner is all blocked in, so it'd be a real pain to get power through there, and then to go up through the attic would be a pain. So I called the inspector and I said, hey, can I just grab power off of this light switch circuit and just protect it with a GFCI outlet? And he was good with that. So it's a difference in 5 minutes of work versus an hour, hour and a half of work. Getting ready to add an outlet in this bedroom over here that I'm gonna pull power off this switch and just poke it through the wall right there. And then this will all be done except for a vapor barrier here. Just put another coat in some sections on that tub. So I'll get this done and then get this tub in. So this is one of those retrofit outlets. Typically you can't see in the wall. You can see those little tabs. When I tighten that up, that sucks up against the drywall. All right, so pulling power off of this box to get an outlet right there. And then I'm pulling power off of this box to get a GFCI, a second GFCI here in the bathroom. So, all right, this is all done. Put a little piece of cardboard there so my overflow would still fit. Done back in there. Now I just have to fasten this piece. It's a curb. It helps support this, so I got to fasten that in there, and then we can move this into place. But that great stuff really firmed that up. Really happy with how that worked. It was definitely flimsy before. All right, so this is a Delta tub. You can see it's got this kind of floor system, so you do not have to set this in any kind of mortar bed as long as your floor is flat, and mine is. When you stand in this tub, it is super rock solid, and that is why. It's definitely a step up from the old tubs. Up or what? Okay, so this sits on the floor right here, and then that keeps any pressure on this edge from pushing the edge of the tub in. So that's pretty nice too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that fastened, and then we'll drag this in there. So we have these double-sided sticky tape. I wish it was the whole length, but it's just 6 pieces, I think. And so now we will take this curb, or the edge of this tub, and just push it down on that where it's flush. All right, so I had to, in order not to tear the insulation, I had to flip it up the other way so that when I tilted it, this corner could go into the stud bay. All right, so it fits pretty good. I mean, right here, these pull away a little bit, but I think take the screws out of this and pull it this way just a little bit. And it does the same thing over here too. I think these just aren't probably straight. They probably curve in. So I don't know if I could suck that in or not, but not too bad actually. So before we screw that tub into place, we're gonna get our piping attached in case I need to do something to get it in there. But I always buy these kits. These are Schedule 40 kits, so they're all glued. And so we have the down pipe, we have the short piece that goes to the tub drain, we have a sanitary tee, we have the overflow, and then we have the drain. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna attach this to the tub, so this will go on the bottom. I'll put plumber's putty on that, screw that in, get that fastened, then we will get the overflow fastened, and you always put the rubber seal with a thicker edge towards the top because that tub slants, so you need the thicker edge to the top so it fits. And then we will get that attached, then we can measure our pieces and get it all glued together. All right, so the overflow's hooked on. I've got this here, and I'm gonna have to wedge something in here. You can see they cut the side joist out, which is not good, but I will beef it up on the other side when I'm done. But I need to get this held there so that I can screw the top part in, which could be a challenge here by myself. And so I wedged this 2x4 in there to hold that in place, and hopefully I can get that top part started. Alright, so we have that dry fitted up there. And then I can stick my tape measure up here and measure. It looks about like 3 inches, I think will work. That looks a little high to me, and I did not cut that, so hopefully that'll come down a little bit. All right, unfortunately, day 9 is gonna be a wrap. This down pipe is 12 inches, and I need it to be 12 3/4. So this is the first time I've ever bought this kit and this down pipe hasn't worked. It must be this new tub. It just is a little bit, has a little bit more height to it. Ace closes at 6. So I have 40 minutes to get over there. I'm gonna get a couple pieces of 1.5 inch pipe and a piece of 2-inch pipe. And hopefully I can get this finished up tomorrow, these tubs.